Hi, my name is Koku with BlackFilm.com, and I'm here with Malcolm D. Lee, creator, executive producer, and showrunner for The Best Man, The Final Chapters. Thank you so much, Malcolm, for joining me.
Sure. Glad to be here.
Malcolm, don't understate this. You know what I'm saying? Because you got you got a whole franchise on your back. Malcolm has been having this franchise that we've all grown to love and we know. And I really want to ask you because I've watched the show and I know what I got a sneak peek and I know what we're dealing with here. It's interesting. It's still interesting. How did you know that this behemoth of a thing would be so interesting to everybody? How did you know?
I mean, as at an instant, I think people really enjoyed the first two films.
Yeah.
I think it related to the characters and they really wanted to know what was happening next with them. We left, people with a cliffhanger in Best Man Holiday, with Quentin getting married, saying, I'm getting married. So I wanted to answer that question. And I felt like, it's a good way to do it with a limited series. I had two pictures in my head. Not when streaming came about and limited series came about, I was like, okay, this would be a good way to kind of end the series, with the franchise rather. And, tell the story of these characters and these folks that I think many people grew up on. Many people, related to from the first time they saw them in their 20s, postgraduate, and then, them dealing with some harder things to deal with in the Best Man Holiday. And then, we're just continuing that now.
But I think this speaks to your character specifically. The fact that when we go back and look at this when you watch this show, people return to the show, right? So what is it about you, or rather, like, what is it about the relationships that you have that these people were willing to come back and reprise these roles? Because you could have recast them easily as well, right? But
no. There's no way you could have recast these characters. I think once these actors, I think you don't really, once you get something in your brain about who these characters are, it's hard to get off of that because they embodied the characters so well. You know what I mean? So like to recast them, I think people would feel cheated. People would feel like, oh, that's not really that. They wouldn't be as interested. I think with all them coming back, I think it's certainly that something that they, wanted to see. And I think for the actors, while they came back, I mean, you have to ask them, but I think that these are some characters that really were landmarks in their career.
Yeah.
I think both the Best Man and Best Man Holiday showcased them in ways that they don't get to do, both prior to the first Best Man and even in between, since the Best Man Holiday. I think that it's rare, or was rare, that Black actors get to play fully developed characters. And so I think that's
Malcolm, giving yourself some credit, you kind of, I know you're being very like, you're trying to, but you kind of like made people like these roles, like.
Yeah, I'm dope. I mean, let's just put, okay, fine. I'm dope.
Can we say that real quick?
All right. Malcolm Lee is dope.
I did said you was dope. I'm just saying.
Okay, I appreciate you, sis. I mean, look, I believe in this storytelling. I believe in these characters. And I thought there's something to continue to say, and so I wanted to make sure we did it. And fortunately, I was able to get the right team together, in front of and behind the camera.
And I want to talk to you about that because I know it's one thing to sort of get things on the screen, and you've been able to sort of episodically do things in a film sense. But now you're doing it on TV. That's a dare, right? Like that's a huge thing to do. But like, how did you know that was the thing to do with this particular series and this particular, how did you just know?
I think that was really the only way we were going to get it done, to put it on television. I think a movie like The Best Man is very tough to get into theatrical nowadays, particularly since the pandemic and what people are going to see in the movie theaters. And so even prior to that, I thought that it was going to be tough. I think The Best Man, series is as an event, like people want to come out and see it in droves. But I thought, okay, here's a way to mitigate all of that talk of like, oh, I don't know if we get the right budget for that kind of thing and theatrically and distribution costs and whatnot. So I was like, okay, let's put it on a small screen.
Yeah.
and let's tell a longer form story. And, you know, it's my first foray in creating television, but, you know, I was very familiar with the characters. I knew what I wanted to do. And, you know, and teaming up with Dayna Lynne North, it was a good thing to have someone in that space who was a TV veteran, as well as a female who would, you know, help navigate those waters.
Well, Malcolm, you know, I think you're so freaking brilliant. I want to use curse words right now. I can't even put into I know where we are, so I know what I can't do. You know what I'm saying? But I do love you a lot, and I just think that you're just amazing. And to see what you've done with this franchise is just incredible.
Thank you.
What else can you tell me about what you're doing that you can tell me? Because I know how y'all be doing. Trying to be cagey.
In the future? You mean what the next project is?
Well, you know, Malcolm always doing something. So just
well, we're developing a lot of things at Blackmailed Productions, both film and television. And, you know, but Malcolm D. Lee is going to take a little bit of a respite before he goes back behind the camera. You know, but I'm developing a number of things.
Wonderful, man, guys. Once again, my name is Koku with blackfilm.com. And I'm here with Malcolm Z. Lee. And you heard him. He said the D. Yeah, like Malcolm Z. Lee, okay. And he's creator, executive producer, and showrunner for The Best Man, The Final Chapters, also the original films. Incredible human being. You guys, it'll be on Peacock. Malcolm, it's December 22nd on Peacock, correct?
December 22nd.
After
you do all your shopping, before you open the gifts, open this gift. It's an early Christmas gift.
You know how we do it. Thank you, Malcolm. I appreciate you, okay? Take care.
All right, then. Thank you so much. Nice to talk to you.
Thank you. It's good talking to you.
If you want to see more content like this on blackfilm.com, make sure you like, subscribe, and ring that bell.